Hi, welcome back to another coffee episode with me. So today we're going to be talking about something new I have in my background. So this is the new DF64V. It's the variable speed DF64. So I just got it recently, 2 days ago. So I've got it from one of the local dealers here in Singapore. So the shop is called Espresso. Leave the name somewhere around. The benefits of buying from somebody local is that, yeah, I think there's warranty support. So I think there's 1 year warranty on this. Why I bought the DF64 is that I wanted to try something with variable speeds. So I've been making espressos a lot, but I wasn't willing to get another grinder to put maybe filter burs or something. So I thought, why not try the variable speed and then turn down the RPMs so that I can brew some filter coffees. Okay, so my dog refuses to be still, so she's gonna be in the video today. So the grinder is a 64mm grinder. It has a 300 watt brushless motor inside, and it's a variable speed. So it goes from 600 RPM all the way until 1800 RPM. So that's quite a wide range. You can change it in 100 RPM intervals. So I have tried the different settings, and I find that yes, for 600 it's more suited for brewing. But then if you try espresso with 600, it tastes a bit funny. I guess there's not much complexity to it. The cup was a bit bright. Then yeah, for brewing, if you turn the RPM too high, also it's weird. Initially, I was considering the Lagom P64, but I think that's I think 3 times the price of this. That thing goes for about 2,700, 2,800 Singapore dollars. I got this for maybe about 800. The entire body is made of metal. The chute is also metal and removable and is magnetic, so I think that's good for the OCD freaks that love to clean. It's really easy to clean up. As for static issues, I don't know why. Maybe it's not so dry in Singapore, but I don't really get such serious static issues. I do not RDT. I still don't get much static issues. The declumper has been changed with a metal one, so the metal declumper is a bit, I would say, better. The grinds seem more fluffy than the original one. So I guess DF, the company, has really been listening to all the reviews and complaints, and I guess this gets better, and it's going towards becoming the perfect grinder for most people, I guess, at the price range. Oh yeah, one other thing is that the grind indicator has been seriously improved. So the first generation DF64 grinder, it had that stupid coffee bean symbol there. So now this one has a ring that you can adjust, so you can set your 0 point. And the bellows are still there. If you use the bellows, you don't use the bellows, not much retention. The only difference is that with the bellows, you can eject out all the super fine coffees. So if you want to do it, you can. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. And there's a anti-popcorning device also included. That's good if you want to do a hot start, meaning you turn on the grinder, then you pour in the beans, so the beans don't fly out everywhere. But I do cold starts all the time. Some people have been saying that the grinder stalls. Maybe that was an earlier version, but the version that I got doesn't really stall. Later we'll take it open and then I'll show you what's inside and how easy it is to actually maintain and the differences with the old DF. Okay, so now I'm just going to show you how I open up the grinder and clean it up. So nothing much in terms of static for me. I don't really have the static issues. Just a little bit. You just remove this. So this is the bellows. So it's also very clean. So how to take it out, right? You just undo this one. So they have updated the design of which the barrel turns. So now, right, you can see the barrel presses on the carrier of the burr. And there's also a bearing inside here. So the bearing here will help this thing to spin. Adjusting your grind is very, very nice now. You can also take this off after that. So this is the one that stops the whole burr carrier from coming off. And you can see there are 3 tabs here. So you just pull out the burr carrier. So you can see for this new version, the grind chamber is really, really small. Tolerances look like they've been improved a bunch. So you can see not much is actually retained inside the grind chamber now. So there's also a silicone ring here. Because last time the grinds used to go in between the machine and the burr, so there will be some coffee underneath the burr when you remove it, but now they've put a gasket there so the coffee grounds can't go in, so I think that's good. So another new thing that they have changed up here, this one is the spring. So the spring is no longer the 3 springs, but now it's a wave spring. Okay, so if you were to look at the upper burr carrier, it's quite well machined. So how we're gonna put it back is like this. You just align the 3 tabs. So there's some rubber gaskets there, so just align the 3 tabs and just push it in. So this is what makes everything so smooth. So this is a bearing. So the bearing just drops in here. So this bearing allows this to swivel really smoothly. Okay, so now it's really easy to screw it back. You don't have to push down the inside. You can just screw this on. So the old one you have to push down the inside because there were springs pushing it out. You just tighten it. It doesn't go down more than that. So when it's tight, it's tight. And then you just take this one, just put it in. So you just turn it all the way till it gets down to 0. If you have set this correctly. So how you can calibrate this, right, is that you can listen for the sound. So once you hear the burst touching, then you turn it off. Then you can put this down, you can adjust it to 0, then it'll be 0. Alright, so now we're gonna try and grind some coffee. So this is a really light roast from 20 grams. It's very light, as you can see. So people have said that the grinder may stall, but I think this is an updated version, so it doesn't really stall anymore. I'm doing an espresso grind at 1200 RPMs. I think that is quite okay. I've tried it at 800 even and it doesn't stall. So let's try it out. Okay, so now I have something to say about expensive coffee grinders and cheap coffee grinders. I guess the main purpose of the grinder is just to hold the burrs in a good position and spin the burrs at a constant speed so that you can grind your coffee. The more expensive grinders probably will give you better accuracy in terms of speed and alignment and calibration of the burrs. However, not to say that a cheap grinder can't do that also. So for something at about $800 like this one, in this day and age, unless you got too much money to burn, I think that a cheaper grinder would obviously help you get really good coffee. At the end of the day, right, it's the burrs inside that matter rather than the actual body of the grinder itself. Of course, the body of the grinder itself looks good, makes you happy, is durable. But if you're not using this in a cafe setting, I mean, if you're using it at home, I mean, how many cups of coffee are you making a day? About the grinds that comes out of the grinder, much of it depends on the burr set. So you can just choose whatever burr set you like and just put it in this grinder. So this is a 64mm. It takes in all the SSPs that you may want. So I passed the other grinder that I had to my friend and we put in the cast SSP, and yeah, that thing makes super nice and sweet filter brews. So yeah, why can't the grinder do everything? Just change the burrs. Basically, the grinder is just the motor that spins the burrs. So the important thing is the burrs. So spend your money on the burrs and get a decently good grinder for the features that you need. The expensive grinders may have more features that you may or may not need. So just judge for yourself. You don't have to spend the money. So I think when a good day and age where we can get cheaper alternatives like this DF64V that can do all the things, maybe 95% of the things the more expensive grinders can do, but for a third of the price. So I'm quite thankful that I didn't buy the P64 and I got this instead. Actually, I got this just because my friend was saying it's not very good, so I wanted to try it for myself and I'm completely satisfied with it. So I think the next step for me to upgrade would be to something totally different. If I want to try something funny, but that's just as a hobby, you don't need it to make good coffee. Yeah. Okay, so thanks for watching and please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see what I change up next year.